Hey guys, so it's your neighborhood friendly trans gay guy here. First video of me actually talking and working up the nerve to do something else besides drawing. The fact that I'm trans makes it a bit harder to get up the confidence to make videos because I haven't started hormones or got any surgeries or anything, so misgendering is going to be a thing, and bullying is going to be a thing because that's just the world we live in. But that's not the point of today's video. Today's video is why I dropped out of high school and the pros and cons. This isn't scripted. I'm gonna go off the top of my head. So, I recently dropped out of high school. I dropped out of 11th grade. I was stressed. Being trans, I was very dysphoric. If you don't know what dysphoric means, it's a mental disorder that transgender people have. I was very dysphoric. I had transphobic people at my school. I had a transphobic principal. I couldn't go to the right bathroom. I couldn't change in the boys' locker room or a private locker room. I would get called names. Certain classes stressed me out. Certain teachers stressed me out and made me uncomfortable. And it was mainly the school and the people. The pros, I would say, I get to spend a lot more time with my animals, and they are like my children. I recently lost my baby Toby. He was a puppy, and that was really hard to deal with. But you can get a full-time job. I haven't yet because I haven't found somewhere to work yet. You can spend time with family that doesn't have school to work. Like, I have a baby brother. He's 2. I can spend time with him. But yeah. The cons, obviously, like, you can't get into certain colleges. But I am doing homeschool as soon as my dad can get me enrolled. So I will get my GED or high school diploma, and I'll be able to go to good colleges and whatever. There are a lot more pros than cons when it comes to dropping out of high school, despite what people say. It's a really big stress reliever. It really helps your mental state, because I just had a really bad mental state when I was in high school. Like, depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts. It made everything worse, especially when I had personal problems of my own, whether it be friends, family, anything. Plus, with 7 classes a day, piling up on those problems, it just really made it, like, difficult. So, dropping out took a heavy weight off of my chest. And, you know, it was just one of the best decisions I've ever made, honestly. Despite what people say about dropping out, it's really not that bad of a decision, because you can still get your GED, you can still do homeschooling, you can still finish your high school, and you can still find good careers and do really good things as a high school dropout. I mean, people have invented amazing technology. They've just done a lot of amazing stuff without going to high school or without finishing high school. So I feel like there are a lot more pros than cons when it comes to dropping out of high school. It's definitely not a bad thing. It took me forever to convince my dad, but after I explained to him about how it was affecting my mental health, he began to understand, like, I was so depressed I couldn't get out of bed in the morning. I stayed home from school like 10 days straight because I just couldn't bring myself to get out of bed no matter how many times my dad tried to get me up. He tried to convince me to stay in school, but there are times where you have to think for yourself and your mental health, and that's something that I do not do a lot. It's something that I need to work on, and it's something that a lot of people need to work on, especially high school students and teenagers and children and young adults. Anybody really. You gotta focus on your mental health and put aside anything that's damaging it. Relationships, friendships, jobs, school. I mean, as long as it doesn't damage your mental health, as long as it's helping your mental health, I believe it's okay to do it. As long as you're not, like, breaking the law, but that should be given. But, like, if school is stressing you out, your teachers make you uncomfortable, students make you uncomfortable, classes are too much, I don't encourage you to drop out, but if you think you need it, and you sit there and really think about it, and you decide, hey, this will better my mental health, this will help me get better, focus on myself and my own problems, and help me get over things, then I say that is completely fine, completely okay, because that's exactly how I was. Now, if you want to drop out of school just because you don't want to do anything all day, like, yeah, school doesn't stress me out, work doesn't bother me, I just don't want to go to school. A lot of people think that's why I did it, but no, my mental health was literally, like, destroyed because of my school. And it really just depends on the school you're going to and the people in it. But, like I said, it's not a bad thing as long as you really think about it and, you know, come up with actual reasons and just make sure it's something good for you before you do it. Don't just automatically think, like, hey, I want to drop out of school just because. Like, I was in such a dark and bad place. I was like, I'm either gonna drop out or I'm gonna do something to get myself suspended, because I just couldn't handle a lot of stuff at that point. And a lot of people got mad at me. A lot of people told me off, gave me lectures, but they just couldn't understand that I really did need that break. I really did need that weight off of my chest. And like I said, I'm still gonna do homeschooling. I'm still gonna get my high school diploma. I'm gonna hopefully go to a good college depending on what I want to do, which I still haven't decided. There's just, you have so many choices as you come to the end of high school. Do I drop out? Do I go to a good college? Can I pick a good career, or a career that I really want to do? Is the career I want to do good enough? There are just so many questions and choices, and it's really difficult. So yeah, I just don't let people control you, especially when it comes to your mental health. Relationships, school, anything. I've dealt with all of it. I've had relationships where people controlled me, school, friendships, family. I've just don't let people tell you how to deal with your mental health unless they're they actually studied it, they're licensed, they know what they're talking about. And even then, just make sure you want to do it, not just because they told you to. I didn't go to a therapist or anything. I just sat there and I actually thought about it and said, okay, will this really be the best thing for me? And it is, so far. I'm happier. I get to spend a lot of time with my babies. I get to do things that I really like to do without as much stress. Yeah, I still have problems, but I don't have all of that trouble with everything else. With school and all the stress that it gave. And it was just such a relief. Also, this is Ollie. Ollie, say hi. He has a twin brother named Jasper, and I have a dog named Miley, she's pretty old, and a gerbil named April, which I might introduce in future videos. I'm sorry, I know I'm all over the place. I don't like scripted videos because, it's just, they're not, sometimes they are, but a lot of people aren't speaking from their hearts when they do scripted videos. I don't know, it's hard to explain, it's just how I feel about it. I know it's messy and stuff whenever you do it unscripted, but I feel like it's more truthful and honest whenever you do it unscripted. So, yeah, that's my story about how I dropped out and the pros and cons. A lot more pros than cons, but I do not encourage it unless your mental health absolutely needs it. So, I guess that's it. I do not have a certain schedule yet. I'm not sure how active I'm gonna be because I have really bad anxiety and stuff, so I will at some point get a schedule. It's just right now I'll probably just upload whenever I feel like I can, when I feel comfortable, I guess. So, yeah, that's my story and my opinion, and please be respectful and just really, really focus on your mental health above anything else. Alright, bye.